My name is Alicia Avanpre and I'm a Wella Signature Artist.
And I am Jessica Stranieri, Wella Professionals Signature Artist.
And today we are doing a makeover look on our beautiful model Yvonne, where I'll be taking care of a half head of foils on her.
And I will then be finishing her off with a square graduated bob.
So for our highlights today, I want to take in consideration her natural level as well as what she has going on the ends. So I'm going to use our level indicator, and having predetermined she is a medium blonde level 7, she's naturally blessed and light, but I want to also take in consideration her ends. So she does have a variation of 9s and 10s throughout. Now Jessica is going to take off a considerable amount of length, but just keeping it in mind, so we are foiling, I'll make sure to leave that out.
So a couple things that we want to take into consideration are going to be Yvonne's texture as well as her density. So she does have fine texture and medium to high density. With a shorter bob, you also want to consider the hairline. So we want to really evaluate and assess how this is going to fall and how it's going to lay naturally. Another consideration is going to be where the hair falls naturally within the crown. We want to make sure that we're going to cut that where it wants to naturally live.
So being that we're going to be taking off quite a bit of length here, I'm actually going to stop right above the occipital bone and highlight everything above. So just going the occipital bone to the mastoid, this is where I'm going to take my sections all the way up into the crown. So being that we're going to be cutting this all off here, making sure that we're not going to have any sort of highlights kind of poking through looking a little bit stripy. So this is just going to ensure that we have a nice beautiful blend for that haircut. Everything below here is going to be cut off, so I won't touch anything down there, but you notice I started about ½ an inch away from the scalp, and then because I am placing color down here, we know that foil can move around, I'm going to come back up here. I'm able to pull that hair nice and taut into the foil, and then just painting up to that little brim that I have there. Now I pre-fold all of my foils just because I like the control that I get with it, and that's my little barrier to ensure that I'm not going to have any sort of things going up through the top. So I'm going to take my really fine weave with a lot of density. You can notice the foils are pretty close back to back, so you can get a maximum amount of lightness. And then being that I already pre-fold my foils, I'm just going to ribbon it so that it folds naturally to match the round of the head. And then I'm just going to lock my foil in place there. A lot of times we notice that these little baby fine hairs like to drop their foils. They don't want to hold on to them, right? So I'm going to show you how we can actually get that foil to stick nicely. So I'm going to fold this in half. I'm actually going to fold it once more, but keeping all of that space at the bottom there. And then right to where my hair ends. A nice little packet. Now, a lot of times we let that sit, that hair wants to fall out, so I'm actually gonna use my tail comb and press gently there and then push up, and that's going nowhere. Now that we have already done our Wellaplex number 2 on her, we're gonna go ahead and determine where we need to tone her to. So looking at her now, this is a 9, and she's a little bit closer to a 9 on the ends. And then this 10, I would say she's closer to at the root area. Now keep in mind, we are gonna cut off quite a bit of this length down here, but keeping in mind that we do need to keep her around a level 9 to a 10 to make sure that we ensure proper toning definition for our pre-tone. So now that we've already pre-toned her, I'm taking back-to-back slices in a triangular pattern right underneath her part. So if you notice, I'm taking wider sections. Now that being, because we're using Shinefinity, and Shinefinity has got really, really nice, smooth viscosity, as well as her hair has already been shampooed and it's towel dried, right? So it's already damp. So this is the appropriate time to take a bigger section. Typically we would want to do something smaller. You can always read a newspaper through it. But with this, we are A-okay with going as we are.
So this is going to act as our cream, which is going to help seal that cuticle, add smoothness and manageability. So starting point for the haircut is going to be the nape section. And I am going to create slight horizontal graduation to really create a very nice weight line for her. So after I finish that, I will continue working up and then into the sides and just really create a lot of volume. I'm going to take into consideration too where we want the line to travel. So I'm gonna tap above the ear. I'm gonna tap below to loosen that up so we can really encourage natural fall. And even if we're overcompensating, so once this is dry, then that way we can go in and refine that area there.
All right, so we have our complete look on Yvonne here. Hope you enjoy. We actually went in, of course, with our highlights, toning her with 0961, and then adding all of this nice dimension underneath with her violets and her blues.
And we finished off her haircut with some light horizontal graduation and a square line.
Hope you enjoy.